Imagine a world where the line between fantasy and reality is as thin as a tightrope, where a single leap from a railway bridge is not an end, but the beginning of a journey into the deepest corners of the human heart. This is the world of Roy Walker, the fractured soul at the center of Tarsem Singh's breathtaking cinematic poem, The Fall. Roy is not the hero we see on the silver screen. He is the man behind the illusion, a stuntman in 1920s Los Angeles. His currency is courage, his trade is risk, and his job is to dance with death for the fleeting entertainment of others. But as the cameras roll and the audience holds its breath, Roy's own world is about to splinter into 1,000 pieces. We find him not on a glamorous film set, but in the stark, sterile confines of a hospital bed. His last great stunt, a dramatic plunge meant to elicit gasps from the crowd, has left him paralyzed from the waist down. The intoxicating roar of applause has been replaced by the quiet, rhythmic echo of nurses' footsteps on polished linoleum. Here, the air hangs heavy with the clean, sharp sting of antiseptic, a constant reminder of his broken body. For Roy, each day is a monotonous cycle of pain, regret, and the ghost of a failed romance with the film's leading lady, a woman who has already found comfort in the arms of its dashing star. The hospital becomes a world unto itself, a microcosm of the bustling city just beyond his windowpane, a city now impossibly out of reach. He is a man stripped of his purpose, isolated by his injuries, and drowning in a quiet sea of despair. Yet the stuntman within him has not vanished. In the silent era, stunt work was a brutal art form, governed by few rules and even fewer safety nets. Performers like Roy were anonymous architects of awe, leaping from staggering heights, crashing vehicles, and setting themselves ablaze, all for a flicker of celluloid immortality. Their pain was simply part of the performance. This unique history has shaped Roy's entire perception of reality. He is a master of the practical illusion, an expert in faking a fall, in selling the drama, in masking his own agony. This profound understanding of how to bend the truth, how to spin a tale that distracts from a painful reality, becomes the very key to his survival. For into this desolate world wanders Alexandria, a young immigrant girl with a broken arm and a spirit that refuses to be mended. She is drawn to his room by a child's boundless curiosity, and in that small, whitewashed space, an unlikely bond begins to form. Two wounded souls, a man who has lost his legs and a girl who has lost her family, find a shared sanctuary in the one place no injury can touch, the boundless realm of imagination. For Roy, storytelling becomes his final, most daring stunt, a leap not from a bridge, but from the prison of his own despair. Within the sterile walls of the hospital, a new world begins to bloom, born from Roy's words and colored by Alexandria's innocence. He weaves for her an epic tale, a sprawling fantasy of 5 valiant heroes on a quest for revenge against the wicked Governor Odious. This story, however, is not mere escapism. It is a mirror reflecting the fractured pieces of Roy's own life. The quest for vengeance is his own burning desire to punish the actor who stole his love. The heroes of his tale are not random archetypes. They are fantastical versions of the people he sees around him in the hospital. The quiet ice delivery man becomes a powerful Indian warrior. The gentle explosives expert transforms into a bomb-throwing anarchist named Luigi. An ex-slave becomes the spear-wielding Otabenga, and a naturalist with a pet monkey becomes a reimagined Charles Darwin. This is the magic of a story within a story. It allows us to journey deeper, to peel back layers of reality until we arrive at a core truth. Roy's narrative is not simply told. It is built, co-created in the space between his bed and Alexandria's rapt attention. When Roy describes a character, Alexandria's mind provides the image, often with charmingly literal interpretations. An Indian to Roy, the American stuntman, means a Native American. But to Alexandria, a child who works on an orange grove with immigrants from India, the warrior appears as a proud man in a turban. The world of the story becomes a tapestry woven from two different lives, two different sets of experiences, creating something richer and more profound than either could have imagined alone. Alexandria is more than just an audience. She is the story's co-author, its beating heart. Her imagination is not a retreat from the world, but a way of engaging with it more deeply. Through her eyes, the mundane hospital transforms. A stoic nurse becomes a treacherous princess in disguise. A bottle of medicine becomes a mythical sleeping potion. The gears and pulleys of the hospital's primitive X-ray machine are seen as the inner workings of a mystical oracle's chamber. She doesn't just listen to the story, she lives inside it, her own reality bleeding into the fantasy and changing its very fabric. Her purity and unwavering belief in goodness begin to challenge Roy's cynicism. He may be the storyteller, but she is becoming his moral compass, guiding the tale away from the darkness of his own intentions. This visual and narrative splendor feels so impossibly grand that it's hard to believe it was captured on film. The story behind the camera is nearly as epic as the one on screen, and it's time to pull back the curtain on 5 unbelievable facts about the making of The Fall. First, the entire movie was shot in over 20 countries, with absolutely no sets constructed. Director Tarsem Singh was adamant about using real locations to create his fantasy world, believing that no green screen could replicate the texture and soul of a real place. The production became a 4-year global pilgrimage, traveling to India, South Africa, Argentina, Italy, Turkey, and Cambodia, among many others. The stunning Blue City is the real city of Jodhpur, India. The labyrinthine stepwell is a centuries-old structure in Rajasthan. Every breathtaking vista, every ornate palace, every surreal landscape is a tangible place on Earth, captured in its most perfect light. Second, the film's young star, Katinka Untaru, did not know she was acting for much of the production. To capture a truly genuine and unscripted performance, Tarsem and lead actor Lee Pace created an elaborate illusion. Pace remained in a wheelchair on and off set for over a year, convincing the 6-year-old Katinka that he was genuinely paralyzed. Their conversations, her delightful mispronunciations, and her unfiltered emotional reactions were often captured by hidden cameras. This method resulted in one of the most authentic child performances in cinema history, as the Bond you see on screen is, in many ways, entirely real. Third, the film was financed almost entirely by the director himself. After challenging experiences with studio interference on previous projects, Tarsem Singh poured millions of dollars of his own money into The Fall. He would shoot commercials and music videos to earn the funds needed for the next leg of his cinematic journey. This incredible personal and financial risk granted him complete creative freedom to make the film exactly as he envisioned it, no matter how long it took or how far he had to travel. Fourth, the film's mesmerizing costumes were designed by the legendary Iko Ishioka. Ishioka, who had already won an Academy Award for her work on Francis Ford Coppola's Bram Stoker's Dracula, brought her visionary and often surreal aesthetic to every piece of wardrobe. Each costume is a work of art, blending cultural influences from around the world to create a look that is both timeless and otherworldly, perfectly complementing the film's fantastical tone. And fifth, much of the dialogue between Roy and Alexandria was improvised. Building on the foundation of Lee Pace's method acting and Katinka Untaru's naturalism, Tarsem encouraged his actors to find their scenes organically. This allowed for moments of spontaneous humor, tenderness, and heartbreak that could never have been scripted. The story feels alive because, in those moments, it truly was. This unique and challenging production method serves a deeper purpose. It mirrors the very theme of the film, the healing power of a shared story. Initially, Roy's tale is a tool of manipulation. Consumed by suicidal despair, he uses the epic adventure as bait to convince Alexandria to steal a bottle of morphine pills for him. The story is his weapon, a means to an end. Yet, as he continues to tell it, something miraculous occurs. The act of creation begins to heal him. By pouring his pain, his anger, and longing into the characters of his fantasy, he begins to process his own trauma. The true transformation, however, happens because of Alexandria. She refuses to be a passive listener. Her innocence and unwavering hope act as a powerful counterforce to Roy's darkness. When he, in a moment of utter despair, tries to kill off the heroes of his story, it is Alexandria's genuine tears and desperate pleas that stop him. She will not accept a tragic ending. Her belief in the goodness of the characters forces Roy to keep them alive, to find a path toward redemption for them. In saving his fictional heroes to appease a little girl, he inadvertently begins to save himself. Their bond culminates in a moment of profound sacrifice. When Alexandria is gravely injured trying to get the pills for Roy, his guilt and grief are overwhelming. He has harmed the one person who showed him kindness. At her bedside, he finishes the story, but the ending is no longer his. It belongs to her. He gives the narrative the heroic, hopeful conclusion she always wanted, a finale where good triumphs over evil, and the hero gets the girl. In this final act of storytelling, Roy abandons his own selfish despair and gives Alexandria a gift of pure, selfless love. He doesn't just tell her a story, he gives her a reason to believe. Through their shared journey into imagination, the broken stuntman finds the will to live, and the lonely little girl finds a father. We have journeyed through a world built from pain and brought to life by imagination, a story that celebrates the profound connection between two unlikely souls. From the desolate hospital ward to the breathtaking landscapes of the mind, every character and detail serves a purpose. Now, we turn the story over to you. Which part of this incredible tale resonated with you the most? Was it the tragic figure of Roy Walker, the stuntman who found his greatest strength only after being broken? Or was it the indomitable spirit of young Alexandria, whose imagination was powerful enough to heal a shattered man? Perhaps you were captivated by one of the fantastical heroes of the inner story, like the loyal Ota Benga or the explosive Luigi. Or maybe one of the unbelievable behind-the-scenes facts about the film's creation is what will stick with you. Let us know in the comments below. Which character or fact captured your imagination, and why? Your perspective is the final piece of this extraordinary story.